The scent was sharp and clean, a welcome contrast to the stuffy, sterile atmosphere of Simone's condo. Garden soil clung under her fingernails, a sign of honest hard work and a life lived close to the ground. "You are so quiet, an unusual silence that worries me, honey. Be careful with silence, my love. It can either save your life if you use it as a shield or utterly drown you if you hide inside it. Your father was just like Devon. He thought my tears and desperate pleas would bring him to reason. They only bored him, Simone. They only made him feel superior, confirming his choice to seek excitement elsewhere. A man who cheats doesn't need tears. He needs consequences he understands, delivered cold and clean." Simone watched the sharp, pristine gardening shears in her mother's hands. Aisha clipped the stems with a single precise snip. No wasted movement. The sneaker sound of finality. "What should I do, Mama? I don't have the strength to fight anymore. I'm afraid that if I start screaming, I'll end up losing more than I gain, losing my own peace." Aisha put the shears aside, her hands rough from the soil in the sun, but her movements still graceful. She took Simone's cold, trembling hands in hers. "Fire is battle, sweetheart, and hot fire burns you before it ever reaches your enemy. You don't need hot fire that spirals out of control and leaves you exhausted. You need cold fire that is a flame that burns slowly, is precise, and never gets distracted by emotion. Cold fire is justice, not revenge. Revenge consumes you from within and leaves you hollow. Justice frees you, Simone, and restores your God-given dignity. Find his non-emotional weak spot, darling. Find the foundation his arrogance rests on, the thing he truly worships, his status, his money, and shatter it with the coldness and logic he so despises in you." That crucial advice, the lesson of the cold fire, had changed Simone's entire strategy. She didn't need to cry. She didn't need to scream. She only needed to use logic against his blinding arrogance. She had to meticulously destroy the foundation his grandiosity rested upon. His status, his money, and his unwavering narcissistic belief that he was above all rules. Devon remained blissfully unaware of the most critical fact. The clients buying the Stonehaven estate, Marcus and Tosha Jones, were all acquaintances of Simone's. They had met her years ago when she was a star procurement manager at the large engineering firm Omni Structura. They trusted her implicitly, respecting her detail-oriented precision. It was through her at a networking event she reluctantly attended with Devon that they learned about the property in the first place. Devon, sensing a massive easy commission, had simply taken the initiative, charming them into working only through him and painted Simone as a helpful but ultimately incompetent intermediary. However, they occasionally still contacted Simone via encrypted corporate email to cross-check technical details, assuming she was fully informed of every step. They valued Simone's honest technical approach, which stood in sharp contrast to Devon's slick, vague assurances. Simone knew the house had a critical structural flaw that Devon was eagerly hiding to secure his massive commission, a fact she hadn't just suspected, but had confirmed. The foundation, situated near a known water table, had instability issues confirmed by internal geological reports from the development company that she had accessed through an old loyal colleague, Mark. It wasn't a visible problem to the untrained eye, but it was real and guaranteed to lead to serious cracking in the load-bearing structures within a few years. Failing to disclose information of this magnitude was outright fraud and a severe violation of brokerage duties, a capital offense in their industry. The house's value would drop by 1/4 the moment this defect came to light, and Devon would lose his license. Devon snored, curled up under the down comforter, absolutely secure in his impunity and impending financial well-being. Simone sat on the edge of the bed, the coldness of the marble floor seeming to rise from her feet to her very soul. He's a house of cards, she thought, and I pulled the first card a long time ago when I stopped loving him. Now all I have to do is blow. Slowly, with surgical precision, Simone pulled out her old burner phone, an anonymous pay-as-you-go flip phone she had used for international travel and then hidden away. It was stored deep in a drawer under old project blueprints in her study, far from his prying eyes and careless searches. She turned it on. The faint bluish screen lit up her face, not a single muscle twitching, her expression unreadable. She found Marcus and Tosh's private contact number and typed a short lethal message. No explanation or preamble, but a verdict, a hammer blow, precise and final. The deal for the Stonehaven estate is off. Devon is a fraud. Call me tomorrow at exactly 9 in the morning. Do not sign anything. I have irrefutable evidence regarding the foundation structure and its deliberate concealment. The message was sent. Simone turned off the phone, tucked it deep into her robe pocket, and left the bedroom silently, closing the door on his oblivious alcoholic slumber. She sat in the kitchen, poured herself a glass of ice-cold water, and watched the slow, dark dawn break over the indifferent city skyline. Her revenge was cold, not hot. She sought no retribution through scandal or physical violence. Her single, unwavering goal was to strip him of the thing he valued more than her life, his status, his money, and his sense of significance. She was carving her new clean life out of the ashes of his old one. By 6 o'clock in the morning, the sun was up, but the condo remained dim, as if the apartment itself mourned its fate. Devon was in a deep, intoxicated sleep. Simone was already on her feet, showered, impeccably dressed in a tailored, dark blue business suit, ready for her workday. A single cup of barely touched coffee sat on the kitchen counter, its steam rising in the quiet air. She took a deep cleansing breath. The smell of her own strong coffee, her own fresh laundry, and her own self-determination was sweet and pure. 7 o'clock. Devon finally woke up with a vile taste in his mouth, a pounding migraine, and a profound sense of self-congratulation. He stretched and noticed his wife was already gone. He took it as confirmation of his power. She dared not eat breakfast in my presence. She's hiding her sadness. He didn't care. What mattered was that in 2 days he was supposed to close the deal that would make him financially independent for years. He could already taste the vintage champagne he was planning to open in celebration of his triumph. Imagining himself tossing stacks of $100 bills to Tiffany to prove she was right to choose an alpha male. He would order his champagne-colored Porsche just as he had dreamed. 8 in the morning. He ate a quick breakfast, 2 stale bagels he smeared with cream cheese, poured himself another cup of coffee, and smugly scanned the real estate market news on his iPad. He felt invincible, an engine revving up for glory. At 9 o'clock, he was supposed to call his boss, Adrian Sterling, to confirm the finalization of the closing documents. His mood was euphoric, almost ecstatic. He was sure everything was going according to his perfect plan, that Simone was just a minor annoyance that would soon clear up, and his life would become a continuous, luxurious celebration of success and pleasure. He didn't notice that every sip of coffee, every self-satisfied sigh brought him closer to the abyss, being dug by an invisible yet precise hand. At exactly 8:30, the phone rang, not his, that was still lying silently on the nightstand. It was Simone's old discarded emergency phone, which she only used to contact her parents. Devon, slightly irritated by the interruption, picked up the cheap plastic device. Yeah, he grumbled, expecting to brush off some unnecessary call. Maybe a telemarketer or an errand relative. Simone, it's Tosha Jones. Thank God we reached you. Or someone answered. We got your message. What in God's name does this mean? A fraud? We were literally supposed to send the wire for the down payment this morning. What has he been hiding from us? Tasha's voice sliced through the telephone line like a serrated blade. Devon felt the blood drain from his face, leaving behind a mask of cold, clammy horror. The imagined taste of celebratory champagne in his mouth instantly turned into the metallic, sickening taste of bile. He recognized Tasha's voice instantly. The client who was supposed to bring him hundreds of thousands of dollars in commission. Her voice, usually soft and friendly, was now hot, laced with disbelief, and burning with indignation. It wasn't a question seeking information. It was a demand for an answer that foreshadowed something far worse than just a busted deal. He realized his perfect world had cracked, and that Pfizer was widening with every passing second, threatening to swallow him whole. Tasha, this is Devon. Simone must have made a mistake. She's probably just in a bad mood. You know, a woman thing. Don't pay attention to it. The house is perfectly fine, just like I showed you. I personally walked the property with you. Your doubts are entirely unfounded. Don't insult my intelligence, Devon. Tasha's voice became icy with a steely undertone that froze his heart. A woman thing? Your wife explicitly said Devon is a fraud, and she wrote that you concealed foundation issues. What kind of insane nonsense is this? Were you seriously trying to sell us a house that's going to fall apart in 2 years? We trusted you. Do you understand? We chose you because we thought you were trustworthy, a colleague of Simone's, not because you offered the lowest price. Marcus is a structural engineer, Devon. He's already checked the documents Simone sent him, and found crucial missing geotechnical information that confirms her tip. This is slander. This is absolute slander, he screamed, jumping up from his chair. The chair tipped over with a loud wooden crash, amplifying the panic in the quiet room. His sleepy state instantly vanished, replaced by stomach-churning, overwhelming fear. He felt cold sweat run down his back, soaking his expensive, newly laundered underwear. They're just small cracks, Tasha. They're not critical, just cosmetic. I was going to tell you. I was just waiting for the right moment to present it to you as a negotiated discount. This is all the work of jealous competitors. I swear you were going to tell us after we paid the full amount after we moved our children into a house that starts crumbling in a year with a discount. No, Devon, your I was going to is not good enough for us. Marcus and I are calling your boss, Adrian Sterling, right now. We've already secured everything Simone sent us. Yes, she sent us the full damning documentation. We are done with you. You can forget all commissions in any future in this industry. We will demand a refund of all down payments and compensation for emotional distress as you recklessly endangered our family and our investment. She hung up, the sharp click deafening in the silence. Devon stood in the middle of the foyer, clinging to the phone, which was hot from Tasha's incandescent anger. He felt the ground disappearing beneath his feet, the floor tilting, his vertigo not from alcohol, but from the sheer velocity of his fall. A feverish, terrifying thought raced through his head. She knew she planned everything. But how? He had hidden all the documents, encrypted the files. Where did she get the information about the foundation? It was impossible. She couldn't have done this. He sank to his knees, frantically, trying to call Tasha again, but the voicemail came up. The subscriber has restricted incoming calls from your number. He tried Marcus. Same result. They had blocked him completely. They believed Simone, not him. His perfect plan disintegrated into dust, and he felt helpless, like a pathetic insect under glass, just waiting for the crushing finger to descend. He threw the phone onto the plush sofa, and tore frantically at his perfectly styled hair. His golden ticket, his triumph, had turned to ash with one short text message. He should have known that her recent unnerving silence wasn't a sign of submission, but the absolute crushing calm before the storm. Her eyes, in which he had seen only indifference, were in reality the eyes of a judge passing sentence. She wasn't just a wife. She was his executioner, and he himself had carelessly handed her the axe by underestimating her quiet competence. Before he could gather his shattered thoughts, his own phone exploded with a call, Adrian Sterling. The name flashed red on the screen like a critical warning light on a failing machine. Devon swallowed, his throat instantly dry, his mouth tasting of old whiskey, fear, and now the sharp tang of failure. Devon, have you completely lost your goddamn mind? What the hell have you done? His boss's voice wasn't just loud. It was drenched in a scorching professional rage that could melt concrete and reputation alike. Marcus Jones just called me. He said you tried to sell them a house with a compromised foundation and deliberately conceal information about the load-bearing supports. He said he has proof, Devon. Photos, expert reports. Your wife gave them to him, didn't she? The Joneses were her contacts and you used and betrayed them. I'm going to have FINRA investigators here if they decide to sue, which they've already threatened. Do you understand what this means? This is a felony, Devon. A capital offense that jeopardizes our brokerage licenses. All of our licenses. Adrian, it is just minor flaws. I was going to it's all a lie. I wasn't trying to hide anything. I beg you, Adrian. Give me a chance. Devon clung to the last desperate strand of hope. His voice pleading almost a childish whimper. You were going to steal people's money, Devon, knowing their massive investment would be worthless within a year. Minor flaws. They sent me the documents. Screenshots of your internal notes. Listen to me. Screenshots detailing your entire manipulation. Who gave you this information? I don't know how you did it, but you have compromised our entire firm. We are facing massive reputational and financial losses because of your greed. Do you know what this one deal has cost us? Not just your percentage, you fool, but the reputation of our entire office. We worked for 2 years to reach this level, to gain the trust of the Joneses and other high net worth clients. We were just starting to secure exclusive development contracts. And you miserable, pathetic liar. You destroyed everything just to buy yourself the newest Porsche. Devon tried to speak, to offer some pathetic excuse, but the words caught in his throat, suffocated by terror. He could hear his own heart pounding madly in his ears, a frantic drum against the silence. He felt like he was drowning in the accusation, as if the air was being cut off from his lungs. He recognized that Adrian Sterling wasn't just angry. He was panicked about the possible catastrophic consequences for himself and the company, and that paralyzing fear made him especially cruel because he desperately needed a high-profile scapegoat to sacrifice. So, here it is. Adrian Sterling's voice dropped to an icy whisper that was far worse than a scream. You can throw away your office key. It won't work anyway. Your work computer is being locked down as we speak. You are fired, Devon. Fired with dishonorable discharge and a reference so toxic it will serve as a warning. No reputable firm in this city will touch you because I will personally ensure your name becomes synonymous with fraud and toxic asset. I will personally call all my contacts and tell them what a desperate scumbag you are. I will crush your reputation so thoroughly that you have nothing left to save. Don't even show your face here. And you know what? If Marcus and Tosha sue, and they absolutely will, I'll be happy to hand over all the information about you, all your dirty secrets, every single email. Get lost now. A dial tone. A long drawn-out dial tone that sounded like the final chord of his ruined life. It wasn't just the end of his job. It was the abrupt end of everything he knew, everything he was proud of, everything he had built his future on. His entire foundation, built on lies and arrogance, was collapsing.